The phones are ringing off the hook, though. That's a good thing. Let's go up to Canada and talk to Rita. Hey, Rita, thanks for the phone call. You are live.
Hi.
Hi. How are you?
I wish I were feeling better.
Okay, well, maybe I can help.
Well, I sure hope so, because I'm feeling pretty desperate at the moment and confused.
Yeah.
So I'll tell you, I have problems with my bowel and have for, with Candida and bowel control for a long time. And I started in February, the 1st of February, doing the longevity program.
All right, so how do you know you have Candida, by the way?
Well, I was told years ago that I had Candida, and I have lots of problems with my bowel, so I assume it's Candida. And
yeah, well, that's one of my pet peeves. I consider myself an expert in the field of Candida and the gastrointestinal tract. And one of the problems with my profession, I mean, I get up on the stump every day and tell people what the problem with the MDs are, and I'm happy to do it because somebody needs to. But there's a problem in naturopathic medicine also, and every time you turn around, somebody's diagnosing somebody with Candida, and Candida, quite frankly, is a garbage can diagnosis. There's only one laboratory in the United States that even comes close to having a valid testing methodology for that, and it's a very easy thing to misinterpret. It's a very easy thing to diagnose, and it's just wrong. It's the wrong diagnosis. It's not there. So you may have this, you may not have this, but in any event, when we think about the gastrointestinal tract, in order to support and promote its structure and function, and especially if somebody has chronic symptomology in the gastrointestinal tract, like chronic constipation, chronic gas, chronic diarrhea, whatever,
right.
The first, second, third, and fourth things to consider before we consider anything else, like, heavy metal toxicity or Candida or parasitic infections or an alien implant, right? Before we start considering anything else, we have to stop eating wheat, barley, rye, and oats.
I haven't been eating those for a long time.
Well, how long is long?
Maybe 6 months.
Okay, great. So, and now I have to tell you that one of the easiest things in the world to do is to eat a food that you wouldn't think has wheat, barley, rye, or oats in it, but it does. So you want to look to see when you switched out the products and everything started to go south and you got bad symptoms again.
Yeah.
You want to just look to see if inadvertently you were eating anything that had gluten in it, but you weren't aware of it. Now, the most common sources of that are soups, chowders, sauces, gravy, and licorice. Soups, chowders, sauces, gravies, and licorice. And it's easy to sneak that stuff in. Now, if you were gluten-free and you got these symptoms, by the way, were you taking selenium when you, and how much of that were you taking?
About 2 a day, probably. I was supposed to take more, but I would often forget, so I was probably taking 2 a day, but that didn't change. But I probably started taking more rather than less as they went along.
Well, because one of the signs of an overdose of selenium is your nails get funky and brittle. So the first thing that I would have counseled you to do is to cut down on your selenium dosage.
Okay.
If you get funky nails. Did anybody tell you that your breath started to get a little funny as well?
No.
Okay.
I don't know that it did. I had no idea that I saw that, I heard that, but I had no idea that I did. Okay.
Yeah, it's interesting because selenium and copper have an interesting relationship in the human body, and normally if somebody has high levels of copper, they have low levels of selenium and vice versa. So where are you, in the continuum here? I mean, where are you at, and have you stopped the supplements altogether, or what's going on?
The last few days I did because I've had diarrhea for the last week and a half, and the only thing that'll stop it is Imodium, and I'm so I guess I can use the word pissed off with everything that I'm kind of going crazy. I don't care what happens then. So
yeah, no, I get it. Well, and rightly so, right? I mean, because that's a hard road to hoe. No kidding. But, you know, there's a rational explanation for this, and things don't just happen for no reason. One of the things that happens to the gastrointestinal tract, or quite frankly anything in the body, you know, if you get, for instance, if you get a mosquito bite, right, it takes the mosquito, 20 seconds to bite you. But once it's bitten you, you're going to have a little bump on your skin for maybe 4 or 5 days, right?
Yeah.
It's going to take your body a while to heal the inflammation that was caused by the mosquito bite. Well, when you dump into your intestinal tract a nutritional supplement that's inappropriate, or, you know, you haven't absorbed it appropriately, and it causes a chain reaction in your gastrointestinal tract and upsets the apple cart, it takes the body 2, 3, 4 days to recover from that, even if you stop taking it, you know, because the damage has already been done, and we need to just back off on everything until everything calms down. So here's what I would recommend you do by way of experimentation. Number one, really just double check to make sure that you haven't inadvertently been sneaking wheat, barley, rye, or oat gluten into your body, you know, in something, okay? So double check that, okay? Start to eat 1 apple a day, 1 apple a day. With the skin, you don't have to eat the core or the pit, but just eat an apple a day, 1 apple a day.
Okay.
Make sure that you're drinking at least 12 ounces of water once a day, 12 ounces of water once a day. 12
ounces, that's all?
Well, at least, right?
Okay.
More is better, okay? But you want to at least be doing that. I don't want you to exercise for the next 3 days until this, or, you know, I don't want you to exercise. But by exercise, I mean I don't want you to go to the gym or get on a treadmill or do anything like that until this diarrhea stuff goes away. Okay.
Yeah, I haven't been actually going out of the house, and I don't want to be taking Imodium, so.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Well, yeah, it's a pain in the you know what, right?
It is, exactly.
I know. All right. So once things have settled down, which I anticipate will take maybe 48 hours, then I want you to go back to the original products that you were taking, the original products, okay?